In November 2024, we took a cruise around the Canary Islands on the beautiful Sky Princess. This was our second time on this ship and our second time in a balcony cabin, but this one was a deluxe balcony on the side of the ship. I have a bit of an unpopular opinion about this cabin, which I'll share at the end of the video, so stick around and see if you agree. Sky Princess launched in October 2019 and was the last Royal class ship added to the Princess fleet. Her sister ships, Royal Princess, Regal Princess and Majestic Princess, share a very similar design aesthetic and slightly different amenities and features. She has 19 decks and cabin L229 is up on deck 16, also known as the Lido deck. Now let's talk location. This cabin sits mid-forward, close to the elevators and doors leading to the pools, bars and a few dining spots. I was a little worried when we booked this cabin about the noise from foot traffic, voices or the elevators, but honestly we never heard pretty much anything, let alone anything that would disturb us. We love staying high up on the ship. It's easy to get to the pools, bars, food and coffee without actually needing to get in the lift. Neither of us get seasick, so the height isn't an issue for us, but if you do, you might want to book a cabin lower down and a more central location for a smoother ride. One thing to keep in mind, on embarkation day, the lifts get extremely busy. We gave up waiting and ended up hauling our heavy backpacks up all 8 flights of stairs. Of course, if you have the patience, you can wait for a lift, but expect a long wait. Okay, let's check out room 229. Getting in is super easy thanks to Princess's medallion technology. For anyone not familiar with Princess cruises, your medallion is a little disc that you carry around with you that allows you to order drinks and food to your location, as well as order drinks at the bar. I'll do a separate video on the accessories you can get for them. Your medallion grants you access to the room as you approach, so there's no fumbling for key cards, which I find super handy when I'm carrying food or drinks back to the cabin. Now, the room itself is a great size for 2 people, and if you're a group of 4, there's a drop-down bed from the ceiling and a sofa bed. We haven't ever had to use these, but from other photos I have seen, the drop-down bed does look like it might block the access to the balcony once extended down from the ceiling. Let me know if you've used these in this type of cabin and whether that's the case. Speaking of beds, the king-size bed is spacious and comfy, perfect for recharging after a long day of exploring. And don't forget, if you don't like your pillows or want a couple more, just ask your room steward. They're always happy to swap them out or give you 1 or 2 extra. Onto the desk and mirror setup. The desk is a decent size, perfect for hair and makeup, or would easily fit a laptop if you need to do some work. The mirror is big enough to actually see what you're doing, and there is a bin underneath the desk. Although I did end up moving the bin out because it was just more convenient to use at the side and would annoy me when I sat down. Also on the desk you will find the room phone, which you can use to call reception or other cabins if you need to. Moving on to sockets, because charging your gadgets is really important. The desk has plenty of outlets, but they're European and US style, so bring an adapter if you need one. Also, you'll need to use one of these to plug in the kettle and use it on the desk, so you might want to keep a bit of a space clear if you plan on using it regularly. Over on the right side, you'll find a drawer with a hairdryer, and here's a shocker, it actually works. Not all cruise ship dryers have that power. Yes, I'm looking at you, Caribbean Princess. Below that, there's a fridge with plenty of space. We like to grab soft drinks from the bar, keep them sealed, and pop them in the fridge for later, perfect for a chilled drink whenever you want one. Next to the balcony, there's a refreshment area with 2 mugs, 2 glasses and a kettle. You'll also get a selection of teas and coffees, including decaf options. Here's a top tip, the buffet has way more choices, so if you have a favourite, grab a few and bring them back to the room. Some people say not every sailing includes this setup, but every Princess cruise we've been on has had it. I'll keep you posted though, since we've got 2 cruises booked this year and neither of them starts or ends in the UK. Next to the balcony doors, you've got a sofa bed. It's comfy enough to sit on, but honestly I don't think we spent more than 5 minutes on this the whole trip. We much prefer sitting on the balcony or just relaxing on the bed. In fact, we even pushed the coffee table right up against the sofa just to make it easier to get to the balcony and save banging your legs on it as you try to squeeze past. That said, if you're travelling in a group of 4 or just like a bit more back support when sitting, the sofa bed could definitely come in handy. Plus the little coffee table is actually pretty useful as it gives you a bit of extra space to pop down all those random bits and pieces without cluttering up the desk or the bedside cabinets, as it's amazing how quickly your cabin can feel cluttered. Speaking of the bedside tables, you've got one each side of the bed. Each one has 2 decent sized drawers and a handy open shelf at the top. I used mine to stash my phone in while it was charging and any other bits and pieces I didn't want to accidentally knock onto the floor or save from accidental spillage of drinks. The lamps are nice too with individual controls, and here's a bonus, they've both got built-in USB sockets. This is perfect for charging gadgets overnight. Just above the lamps you'll also find the light controls for the whole room on both sides of the bed, so no matter who gets comfy first, you don't have to get up to turn the lights off. It's a small detail, but I really do appreciate those little things. Over on the wall opposite the bed there's a decent sized TV with a really good picture. There's plenty to watch too, films, TV shows and all the movies under the stars selections, so if you miss one out on deck you can just catch up from the comfort of your room. If you're travelling with kids, there's also a solid selection of kids' movies and TV to keep them entertained. I will say the best place to watch TV is definitely from the bed. You can watch it from the sofa, but it's not exactly a cinema-worthy angle from there. I get the feeling this was deliberately designed that way. Most people will probably want to chill out on the bed to watch TV, which is exactly what we did whilst we were getting ready or just chilling between activities. Also, this is where you can watch your muster review video and it should be ready to watch as soon as you enter your room for the first time. Next to the TV is the room's thermostat. Nothing complicated here, just turn it down into the blue for a cooler room and up into the red for a warmer room. It worked pretty well for the most part, but also remember to keep your balcony door closed if you have one. This isn't only to keep the aircon working effectively, it's also for many safety reasons. Right by the door to the cabin there is a great size floor to ceiling mirror, and I love having one of these right by the wardrobe. I think it's really handy. The wardrobe is an absolutely fine size for 2 people for 2 weeks. There are more than enough hangers we found, and some of these hangers have trouser clips for hanging multiple things on one. We stored our cases at the bottom during our cruise to keep them out the way and store any washing we accumulated. There is also space above for the hanging section. For anything you want to store up there, it is plenty big enough for bags, extra clothes or just things you want to keep out the way. Now I forgot to film the shelves next to the wardrobe, but they are pretty similar on most of the Princess cruise ships we've been on. So these are the ones from Caribbean Princess. As you can see, you've got many shelves and of course the room safe. The safe was a good enough size for passports, jewellery and smaller devices, but it wouldn't fit a 15-inch laptop. So, other things to note are just inside the door is a card slot that controls the electricity and lights to the cabin. This has a permanent card in, so you don't really need to worry about this anymore. And then below that is a set of room light controls. On the back of the door is the safety card details. Always remember to have a look and make sure you're familiar with these. And then finally behind the door is a little hook for a small bag or item of clothing. Now let's move on to the bathroom. It's on the left as you come into the cabin opposite the wardrobe. As expected, it's compact, but honestly it's got everything you need and we found it perfectly adequate. The light switch to the bathroom is on the wall just outside, so don't forget to turn it on before you step in and close the door. Before we go over the bathroom amenities, just be aware that like a lot of cruise cabin bathrooms, there is a lip on the entrance to the bathroom and one to get in the shower. It's not huge, but watch your toes during the night, and if you have mobility issues that either of these would be a problem, don't forget to call up and get an accessible cabin. The sink is a decent size and next to it you'll find hand wash and hand lotion. I use the hand wash all the time, but I didn't use the hand lotion, however it's there if you want it. You also get 2 face cloths, which I love because I use them a lot, and for hygiene reasons these do get changed out daily. In the corner of the bathroom there's a shelving unit with multiple shelves. It's perfect for keeping your stuff organised and off the limited surface space of the sink. Just a little warning, don't put anything tall or unsteady in here. If the seas get rough, you might end up playing catch the toothbrush at 2 AM as the bars aren't very high. Nestled in between the shelf space, there is a standard shaver socket for items such as rechargeable toothbrushes or electric shavers. For a cabin of 2, you'll get 2 hand towels and 2 bath towels. We tried to be good and hung ours on the back of the bathroom door to try and help the environment, but somehow we still ended up with fresh towels regularly. Not complaining though, I do love having an extra bath towel for my hair. Now let's talk about the shower. It's a pretty good size. I am a little on the rounder side and I had no space issues in here whatsoever. And yes, it has a shower curtain, which I usually hate, but to my surprise this one didn't attack me mid-shower. Unlike the one on Caribbean Princess, where I think I washed more of the curtain than I did of myself. The shower controls are pretty straightforward. You've got a separate temperature and flow control, plus a little built-in shelf for your shampoo and shower gel. Even at peak times we didn't have any issues with water pressure or temperature, which is always a win. I'm on the shorter side, so showers are never really a problem for me, but even Luke, who is over 6 feet, didn't have to do any awkward bending to wash his hair as the shower head is at a good height. Now you do get wall-mounted shower gel and shampoo. I did use the shower gel and it was nice enough and didn't dry my overly sensitive skin out, but I bought my own shampoo, so sadly I can't comment whether it's any good or not. Next to the bottles there's also a handrail, which is really handy for getting in and out of the shower, especially if the seas are a bit bumpy. There is also this shelf thingy at the bottom of the shower, which we ended up using for our extra toiletries, because who wants to bend down to the floor and risk headbutting the shower wall? Oh, and there's a pull-out washing line in the shower. I mentioned this in my Caribbean Princess room tour. I'll pop a link up in the top corner if you've not seen it. It's great for hanging anything dripping wet, but since the bathroom doesn't really get much fresh air, don't expect things to dry out completely in here. And of course you have a toilet. Note on the toilet, don't put anything down there apart from the toilet roll provided, as it's likely to cause blockages and potentially damage the system. There is a separate bin in the bathroom for any other waste such as tissues and sanitary items. I do like the fact that they provide a toilet brush, and you might spot tissues to the right of the toilet. These are not toilet roll. The toilet roll holder is found under the sink unit, as you can see here. I did find this a strange design choice, as it's really awkward to reach, and we ended up putting the toilet roll on the shelf beside the toilet as it was easier to use. The shelf under the sink unit is again a nice way of adding some storage and keeping things tidy in a compact space. And last but not least, there are sanitary bags provided in the little metal holder just under the sink. Alright, last but not least, let's talk about the balcony. Now, even though this is a deluxe balcony cabin, that doesn't actually mean the balcony itself is any bigger or better equipped. It's more about the extra bit of space inside the room. The balcony comes with 2 chairs and a little table, and of course the view is stunning. Whether you're in port or out at sea, this is one of the best reasons to book a balcony on a higher floor, providing you don't mind height or feeling the movement of the ship. Now here's my possibly unpopular opinion. This was the first time we had a standard size balcony, and honestly, I didn't find it all that comfortable. The space is tight, you sit down and kind of feel like your knees are pressed up against the glass, and it's not exactly the most relaxing setup. On Caribbean Princess we were completely spoiled with a roomy aft-facing balcony, which had plenty of space and hands down the best view we've ever had. And the first time we sailed on Sky Princess we stayed in cabin Lido 102. Now that room is technically an obstructed deluxe balcony because it's at the front of the ship, right above the bridge. It has a solid metal railing up to chest height, so you do need to stand up to get a proper view. But you get 2 chairs, 2 footrests and loads of space. I actually used that balcony so much more just because it was more comfortable. It was also much cheaper than this room was due to the limited view. That said, I'm still firmly in the balcony camp in general. Personally, I love the fresh air, and sometimes it's just so nice to sit outside and watch the world go by. On this cruise, we even caught a lightning storm from the balcony, which was absolutely incredible to see. So overall, shipside balconies like this one give you a better view than the front-facing cabins, especially when you're in port or cruising along the coast. But when it comes to comfort and space, I think I would still look for a larger balcony, even if there was some compromise, whether that be with the view or the angle. And at the end of the day, it comes down to what's important to you, whether it's having a comfortable outdoor space, the best possible view, or just somewhere to step out and get a bit of fresh air. Whichever you choose, it's all about what will make your holiday that bit better. So all in all, cabin Lido 229 was a pleasant, comfortable cabin to enjoy our 2 weeks around the Canaries. Even though I found the balcony a little small, these are the standard balcony size on Sky Princess and most of the balcony rooms come with these, so this isn't specific to this room. I still thought it had everything we needed, and if you were looking to book this room or any of the other rooms around it, you don't need to worry about noise or anything interrupting your sleep. It's conveniently located for food, bars and the pools, but do take into consideration the good and bad points of being on a high deck and whether these are suitable for your needs. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this review, please give us a like and subscribe. It helps get our content out there and grow the channel. So until next time, happy travels.